In this lesson titled Outlining, we're in Workbook Lesson 08, View Options, and we're on the Outlining tab. Excel has some powerful tools that let you isolate different aspects of your data by looking at the formulas you're using so that it can see what the totals are and what the data is that was used for those totals. In this example, we have this little table called 2018 Forecast, and we show numbers for January, February, March, and then first quarter, and so on, showing the months and then the totals in the quarters. To create this table, we were using formulas. Up here in the formula bar, we see that we were using a function called sum to add up January through March and to put the total right here. And Excel is aware of those formulas, so it knows that first quarter is made up of these three columns. So this feature we're going to show you on the Data tab is called Auto Outlining, and it's here in the Outline group, and under Group you can choose Auto Outline. So we'll just simply select that. Now right away our view changes and it looks a little complicated, but it actually is quite simple to understand once you break it down. Let's take a look first here at what's happening in this top section. Excel has identified that we have a sum function here, and it's made up of these other three columns that sum up to this total. And so it considers this all as one group. And that's kind of why up here these are referred to as groups under outlining. So this is the first group right here, and then here is the second group, April, May, June, and then it's second quarter, that's a group, and here's the other quarters, and they're a group. And now there's one large group because we have a total of everything, and it's getting the answers from everywhere. The same thing is happening over here. We have this revenue category, and we have sales and shipping, and then we get a total here, so that's a group. And this is also a group, cost of goods, and a total. But all together, it's one big group together. And the same thing down here, we have expenses. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and it's saying that we have all of these expenses and then a total to all of these expenses. So we have several different groups happening both with columns and with rows, and they are all identified because of the formulas involved. Excel lets us simply turn off and on each one of these groups. So I'm going to turn off and on these groups by just hitting these minus buttons, and you'll see that it becomes a plus button, and it collapsed January, February, March, and is only showing me the quarter. So you can open and close each quarter. So this becomes a very powerful tool for presenting, for instance. You might want to start your presentation by closing all of these quarters. And you could start by showing these numbers. And then if anyone said, I'm kind of curious to see exactly what the numbers were in the third quarter, then you could just simply open that one up and see just the information for the third quarter. The same is true here. You might close these, for instance, and you might just simply show these major categories of expenses. And then you might decide, you know what, I'd like to see some more detail on those expenses. And you could open that up or open that up, and you could see all those details. So it's all just based on formulas, and then it's able to determine where the different groups are, and then you can independently open and close them. There's one thing we haven't talked about. There are some buttons up here that represent the groups and the level that they're at. So I click 3 and all of them are open. I click level 2 and I have only my quarters, and level 1 I show only the final total. So these are also very useful too, because they give us a quick way of opening up different levels of the groups. Auto outlining, it's kind of important also to know how to turn it off. First though, you may want to just simply turn off these controls. Say you have this view and you don't want to show these controls on the top or on the left. You can use a shortcut called Control 8, and the controls disappear. We're still in outlining view. We just don't see the controls. So Control 8 to bring it back again. And to turn everything off, to get rid of this view, we go to Ungroup in the Outline group. We go to Ungroup and we choose Clear Outline. Very powerful tool, just takes a little time to get familiar with it. And anytime you have summing, it's very useful.